But in regard to these TIFs, I read through this Longview TIF last night, and it's worth about $16 million. And that means we're talking about a $16 million tax burden that would be shifted onto the residents of Lee Summit. Now, TIFs in general were created with the intention of subsidizing development projects in blighted and rundown areas. Longview is hardly a blighted area, and the TIF plan even says as much. In fact, it's a prime development area in an affluent and growing city. And this TIF seems like it's being wildly misused in an attempt to subsidize development in a place where no incentive is required. And I believe that knowing this and approving it in an unqualified area like Longview would be an act of malfeasance by the City Council. And further, it kind of seems like this government and the City Council is always looking to hand out subsidies and incentives for developers, but then you're quick to saddle Lee Summit residents with heavier and heavier tax burdens, such as the use tax in 21, the public safety tax in 22, and now you want to put a stormwater tax on the ballot for next year. Our city can't afford basic public services without further squeezing the taxpayer, but we have incentive after incentive for developers. Now, don't get me wrong. I love the idea of lowering taxes for businesses and developers, but not at the expense of the residents, and not the way this City Council does it by picking and choosing winners. The priority should be to first lower the tax burden on the citizens who are just trying to survive, and then secondarily, you lower the burden on entities engaged in commerce. And when you lower taxes for businesses, you make it universal, a level playing field. You don't engage in crony capitalism, giving special incentives to only certain economic actors. And I think the worst part of all this is the people of Lee Summit are struggling financially. I watched the Finance and Budget Committee last night, and it was noted that the sales tax is down. And the city acknowledged that this is likely because the residents are under financial stress and unable to spend like they historically have. So does it really serve the residents to give developers $16 million and then ask us to accept a new tax? Here's what I'm asking the City Council to do tonight. Distance yourself from this developer first focus. Put the residents first instead. Vote no on these TIF ordinances and then prioritize fixing the budget so that you don't have to continue overtaxing the people for basic services like stormwater management. Thank you.
All right.